Record. Okay, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Howard Hathaway Elementary School Reopening Forum. My name is Stephen Costa. I am the Director of Technology for Portsmouth School District and your MC for tonight. A few Zoom guidelines today. Chat or comments are disabled for the duration of the forum. All mics will remain muted as well. We are also providing live stream of this event for those who do not have a Zoom account or would like to listen in. Our district YouTube site, https://www.youtube.com/Portsmouth livestream. Thank you. And now your hostess for tonight, Miss Lisa Little, and co-host, Miss Christine Volafecto.
Thank you, Steve. I like the little chimes. Nice job.
Hello.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. My name's Lisa Little. I'm the principal here at Hathaway School, and we're here tonight to share a little bit about our reopening plan. We have spent a lot of time this summer making things just right for everyone in our Hathaway community, for our faculty and staff, for our families who are distance learning, and our kiddos and families who are coming back. And we are super, super excited to share it with you this evening. So just going to jump right into the presentation, and we'll have Nurse Chris jump in when it's the nurse slides, okay? All right. So, okay. So I think Steve, Mr. Costa addressed this, that there will be some people joining via Zoom and some people on our PSD YouTube channel. We're reviewing that school plan according to those three critical areas. We've also developed the presentation using some questions that you have sent. We sent out a parent survey. We tried to incorporate some of that. We also sent out a kindergarten parent survey, and we tried to put some of those questions in here as well. So at the very conclusion of the meeting, we'll be discussing our next steps, and we will release this presentation and our reopening handbook tomorrow. So we are happy that you all are here and joining us, and maybe some of our Hathaway friends are here too, our children, so we say hello to them as well. We just put our mission on the very first page, and we put a photo of our students because really they are the reason we are here. Whether we are here for you in person or here for you distance learning, or even here for you if you've opted to homeschool and you just have questions or you want to stay connected to us, we are here. And they're the reason why we're here. That group of children is now headed to the middle school, so we will miss them greatly, but we have others to fill their spots here in our community. So as I mentioned, we've been working all summer. I do just want to give a little bit of a shout out to our building-based team. You all know that we started the summer with the district level teams for reopening, and we did a lot of hard work on those teams. When those teams were done with their plans, they were given to the building level teams, so our building-based team. And our team consisted of these people right here on the screen. And honestly, I cannot say enough about what they have done this summer. They were my village for sure. They are amazing. You're going to see some of their work in this presentation this evening. And again, we can't thank them enough. And a very special shout out to our parents on that committee, who are Laura Barth, Jill May, and Dana Squires. A lot of what we have done to return is due to their participation and their support. So the school supply list, I will tell you, I actually stole this from our State Teacher of the Year, Ashley Adamson's page. And I thought it was awesome. So I put it here in our presentation. We talked a lot about this as a faculty and staff, and I just wanted you to be aware of the fact that these are some of the things that we're asking for. We have a very big task ahead of us, right? We've never really done this before, the way that we're doing it. So it's all very, very new. So on everyone's part, we're asking for, patience and flexibility. We want everybody to take deep breaths. We want calmness. Now, I know there are times when we all reach a point where maybe we're not so calm. It just happens, right? But we always have one another to bring us back. So we really, again, the village that we have here at Hathaway is awesome. And these are the things that we're doing, and we ask that you do them as well with us and with your children. So you know that we have a phased in reopening plan. It's a little simpler here at the elementary level. We have a calendar that you can have access to in this document, and we also will be sending it out. And it really just breaks down when people will be coming back. And we do have some events. We will talk about these for you, but it breaks down when our students will be coming back. So the whole first week we have K and 1 who are in person, and 2, 3, and 4 are distance learning. The next week on that Monday, it's the same setup. And then we gradually pull in another grade each day so that by Thursday and Friday, all of our students are here in Hathaway. We know that on some level, this presents challenges for some parents, and even presents challenges for us as a faculty and staff, new challenges, which teachers have been amazing with. You know, our 2nd, 3rd, and 4th grade teachers really are just learning that they're doing distance learning for those days. And so they're preparing and they're doing their best. And we know that some families might have childcare issues and all that. So we thank you for your patience. We're going to say this, that doing distance learning as well as in person is, again, going to be a challenge for us. And I liken it to riding a bike. We have a great plan for opening, and we are super, super ready and so excited. But, you know, when you learn to ride a bike, if you read the directions, it sounds great and it looks great, but inevitably when you get on that bike, you may fall. And you may scrape your knee a little bit. But the great thing about that is if you really want to ride the bike and we really want to be here, we're just going to get up again and we're going to keep going. And so we're excited about that. We know that we might have some challenges, but we are excited and we are ready for that. The approach that we have for phased in is going to allow us to bring the students back slowly. You'll see in this presentation that we have some new rituals and routines here in our Hathaway community. So having just kindergarten and 1st grade the first week is really going to help us get those rituals and routines down and get used to those things on a smaller level than having all of the students at once. So it's a quieter, calmer environment for our young students. Remember, a lot of our our 1st graders left here on March 13th, and they were kindergartners when they left, and it's been a while since they've been here. So we opted to put kindergarten and 1st grade together, and we're excited about that. And they'll have this environment with really just the little ones, which is nice to start with. So we're happy about that. It will allow us for our new procedures to go into place, and we're right from the very beginning, we are going to focus on building relationships with our students and our families in all grades, whether it's distance learning or in person. We're super excited about that. The other thing I do want to, well, let me just up to that. Okay. So our plan for elementary distance learning is that all students, both in person and distance learning, will be included on a class list. They are all our kiddos. Our students will have access to Google Classroom, all the assignments, and our unified arts classes. Our distance learning students will be included throughout the day as much as the classroom teachers, the coaches, the interventionists feel is appropriate. And our teachers are responsible for coordinating the efforts to support all of the distance learning students. We have been very fortunate. Our district is super supportive of everything we are doing. And we at Hathaway School have 3 additional distance learning teachers. We are so excited about that. We have 2 new hires and 1 person who was with us last year in 1st grade and was here for a year, and we're fortunate enough to hire her back. So we have 3 teachers that we're super excited about, and they're going to help support with the distance learning. Now, I know that some of you probably are saying, well, what does that look like? What does that look like? One of the things, before I jump to the next slide, our distance learning survey, we are asking that it's completed by tomorrow at 4 o'clock so that we can start to revise our class lists. One of the things that we are doing with our class list is we are taking our distance learning students, they all will be in classrooms, but we are spreading them evenly across the grade so that we'll start with smaller numbers in our classrooms as well. So we are asking for your support to have your choice in there by 4 o'clock on Friday, September 4th, which is tomorrow. So that would help us greatly. In terms of distance learning, we've had, again, the district and the state have this calendar with professional development that we are super excited about. So we started today talking about what distance learning looks like. in our classrooms. We collaborated with the teachers over at Melville, and we had great conversations. So we know that we are including our distance learners in class meetings. They will be on some way, we'll take attendance with them. They will be there virtually for some lessons. They will work with the distance learning teacher for some lessons. But our goal is to make sure that our distance learning students feel connected to that classroom, to those students, to that teacher, and the distance learning teacher. So it may vary what it looks like at different levels as we are putting the plan together, but we are definitely ready to provide learning for our students who are here and our students who are at home. So one thing that we did talk about with kindergarten and first grade that we ask you for is a lot of the beginning of the year for kindergarten and first grade is rituals and routines. And it's rituals and routines about here being in the building and what they do when they come in and where they go. And we have bathroom breaks, et cetera. So there will be a lot of that. But again, the teachers are amazing and they have worked on ways to include our distance learning students in activities throughout the day, because they won't necessarily need to be a part of that, the rituals and routines for that, but we've worked in other activities. So the key to that is to stay tuned for communication from your classroom teacher. The other thing that we wanted to be sure to ask you is to be patient with us. We will have some class meetings and we will get on, whether it's Google Meet or Zoom, but it may be that the classroom's running a little late in the very beginning, right? Our kiddos are just coming back in first grade and we have brand new to our school in kindergarten. So it may be that there's a meeting at 1 o'clock and it may be a few minutes. Hang tight, wait for us. We will definitely come to you, but it just may take us a couple minutes, okay? Grades 2, 3, and 4 are doing the distance learning. They have some great plans, so stay tuned for that. They've already started to talk about ways to get to know your children in those days that they are home prior to their arrival here. So they're super excited about that. And all of them will be communicating to you about how you can get into the links and what your day will look like. So we are still putting that together, but you will definitely you will be given directions on that. I believe you may know this, but if you haven't gotten the official notification, we are asking every family to fill out an attestation form. It is in Aspen, and I do believe that the directions will be forthcoming. Chris, well, you don't need to talk about this, but did you want to say anything about the form in Aspen?
Just that it needs to be filled out every day. And then you have another slide a little bit later that if you have any symptoms that that you say yes to, I think that then it will bring you to the absent form. There's another form you're filling out. So I will be communicating with you about those symptoms, but I'll talk about that a little bit later. Perfect. But it's important. All of us have to fill it out too every day.
We do. Yep,
so
we do.
Make sure
so
that
we ask that you do it every day. We are going to follow up if it's not filled out. So we'll be calling you. Someone from here will be calling you and checking in with you. We at Hathaway, one of the new things that we've done this year is we've created an absent and early dismissal form. And this was the Dana Squires. Thank you, Dana. I'm sure you're out there somewhere. She has created this form that we are working on where the directions will be forthcoming, but we're going to ask you that if your child is absent, you fill out this form. We're going to make it as easy as possible for you to get there. And it will ask you questions about symptoms and it will direct you. It'll ask you to leave a number. We have all kinds of things in there. The nurse will be contacting you if you call in, you put the form in for your child to be absent. So we will be calling you on that. And we are asking for, again, no early dismissal changes after 2 o'clock. And if you have an early dismissal, rather than send a note in, you can put it right in this form that will be submitted that we will have access to. So we're trying to streamline, we're trying to cut down on the paper trail and the handling of all that. We're trying to streamline the process. And I'm pretty sure this is really going to work really well for us. So again, we'll see. Our daily schedule, we're going to be doing a lot of the same things, right? We're going to have English language arts, math, science, our intervention, social emotional check-ins. We have built-in bathroom breaks throughout the day. And if someone has an emergency, because I know, someone can tell me you're allowed to use the restroom at 10 and 2, and inevitably I'm going to have to go at 12. So if that's the case, we have worked that out as well. We've also built in, obviously we have a recess. We've built in a mask break. It's a 20-minute outdoor break, and the classroom teachers will be going out with the students then. They can turn that into instructional time if they'd like, or it can just be a mask break outside where you kind of, in the beginning, it may need to be just a mask break. This is a lot, right, for our students and for our teachers too. So we just may need to get out to that space and take our masks off and have that break. We do have additional time and space that's available in the calendar for outdoors. We know that that's one of the things that we've talked a lot about. So there's our habitat, and we have some of our friends taking care of it over the summer. And then we also have this great big, beautiful area of land to the right as you're looking out over the water. Our facilities department has been awesome. They just got us a paint roller that, like they do on the fields for sporting events. And with our science coach, Margie Brennan, and our custodians, Mel and Manny, we are going to go out there and we are going to paint that up. We're going to have 3 areas. One of them will be our makerspace. The other are going to be 2 classroom areas that teachers can sign up for on a regular basis to go outside for classroom learning. And the habitat is also available for that. So that's 4 additional spaces on our property that we'll be using for outdoor instruction. And our goal is that we would like our teachers to get outside every day for instruction for at least 20 to 30 minutes. We know it's not going to happen right away. We know that. So we'll be flexible, we'll be patient, but they know that that's our goal, and that's what they want to do as well. So our goal is to get out there and get the fresh air and learn. We are going to be sending out an email tomorrow asking for everyone to send in some kind of a towel or a beach towel or any kind of a towel. It doesn't have to be a beach towel, but a towel, so that we can use that in our outdoor spaces. But do not worry if you don't have an extra one, or you don't have time to get one, or now you're saying to yourself, oh my goodness, one more thing, right? We will have some extras. We've already ordered some, and we will have extras if you need them. So if you don't have it day one, that's completely fine. We will work with it. So breakfast and lunch. So our students will be grabbing their breakfast as they enter the building. We have lots of different entrances to Hathaway. So you'll see that when we go over arrival and dismissal. If your child is getting breakfast, they will grab the breakfast and have it in their classroom. Our lunch is going to be delivered to the classroom during our grade level lunchtime. So on the first day of school, obviously our students can order their meals for that day. And then starting with day 1, we're going to have them choose their meal for the next day. This is going to help with our whole system of having the lunches ready, providing them for our students, getting them delivered in a timely fashion. So I know that might be a little hard because who knows what they're in the mood for, right, on the day before. But maybe if you can talk to your children about that a little bit and see if they can start to think a little ahead about what they would like to eat for lunch. We are eating snack and lunch in our classrooms. So we are designated, our classrooms have always been not free for snack time, but right now our entire school is not free. And Nurse Chris will talk a little bit more about that when she speaks. And then our student desks will be cleaned after eating lunch. So we have those protocols in place so that we're all being safe and responsible. So the Chromebooks, I won't say a lot about this at all. You know that you're getting Chromebooks and students need to take them to and from school on a daily basis. We just are asking you to charge them nightly. Hopefully this was the right thing to put in here. Should a problem arise with your Chromebook, please reach out to IT. They have halos over their head. They're awesome. So that's their email. They have an IT page and it's right there. And then I think this actually, I think Emily sent this out today. So you'll be getting this letter, if you haven't already, in your email, that they are hosting a meeting on the Chromebook and Chromebook usage. So there's a Zoom link for K1 and 2, for 3 and 4, and then 5, 6, 7, 8. So you should have gotten that in your email, and you'll have a link to it right here as well. Okay, so that's the Chromebooks. All right, so you're up, Nurse Chris.
Hi, good evening. It's so good to be here. A lot of you know me already from the past years if you've had children, and hopefully I'll get to meet most of your kids during this year, and they're at that kindergarten orientation that's coming up. And so if you're new to the school with a kindergartner, I'll definitely be there to go over some things there too. So we came up with some different protocols. Children always came down to my office with their headaches and their stomach aches and lost teeth and needing Band-Aids and all that. So that's going to continue. But again, what Mrs. Little mentioned before was that when you create an absence for your child on that form that you'll be learning about, I'm going to be monitoring that so that I can call you to talk with you about any symptoms that your child might have. You know, we're trying to be as safe as we can, and we're being very careful, and questions you might not be able to answer about coming back to school. I want to let you know that we've been told by the Department of Health. I've been meeting with them a lot this summer, and the threshold is very low for illnesses in school. So if your child comes down with a headache or a stomach ache, of course, a fever, a cough, you will be getting a call from me to come get your child. Normally we would, watch the child and maybe do some things that we would, try and see if the, student would feel better, but that's not going to happen right now. So please understand that your child will be going home for things that maybe in the past they didn't automatically go home for. All right. The teachers will be contacting me before they come down from their classroom, because I'm only allowed to have a certain amount of kids in my office too, because of space. So I can't have, 6 kids in my office at one time. And what I'll also be doing, and they have my phone number, of course. I gave them my cell phone number, and they also have my extension, so they can call me and I can triage them, the kid, like, Susie has a little bit of a headache, and I can say, okay, can you hold on to her for 10 minutes? Because I'll have, my office will be free during that time. Because I'm also getting students that need medications and might have treatments that need to be done. So the big thing is that I need to keep my office as free of illness as I can, so that those students that aren't ill, that have injuries, Band-Aids, things like that, need ice, lost teeth, those kind of things. I can keep the office as free of illness as I can. So we have an isolation room right next door to me, and I will be triaging or checking over the students with the headache, the stomach ache first there, and then they probably will stay there until I decide if they, are going home or not. Okay. Of course, the students will be wearing their masks in my office, and and I'll be wearing probably a face shield and a mask, especially if I need to look at somebody's throat, or we have thermometers that are non-contact now. Okay. And that's what I said here. The students will be triaged in the isolation room whenever possible, so that I can keep my office free of illness for the other students that don't need that. I'm going to try something new this year too. I'm going to have a cart on both levels where I have basic first aid things, calamine lotion, some ice pack, some ice, not ice packs, ice, Band-Aids, things that I can do to keep the kids in the classroom or right near the classroom instead of having to travel through the hallways. Okay. And if you know me, you know that I either email you about your child's visit, even if it's that little bump or bruise, I always email you. And if it's anything more than that, I call you, and that will continue as usual. Now, we talk a lot about safety, and we're talking a lot about being safe at school with COVID-19, but we have children who have life-threatening allergies, food allergies in school too. So we need to keep those children safe. So like Mrs. Little was saying before, our classrooms were always nut-free for snack, but because they're eating lunch in the classroom for the most part, we need to keep it that way for that too. The teachers all have from the Food Allergy Research Association, I gave them all a reference sheet about all different types of allergies, because sometimes you think, oh, well, that's not I don't have to worry about that food. It doesn't have a nut product in it. But they have a list of things that might not be so obvious that it's a nut product, either a peanut, which is a legume, not really a nut, or nuts. Okay. So they have that at their ready, and they will be they have to be very vigilant. And we're asking you to be vigilant about what you send into the class, with your child. Okay. The isolation room, that, like I said, is right next door to me. So students presenting with symptoms of illness. And those are things like fever, sore throat, headache, nausea. There's a few more on there. They will be assessed in there and probably stay in that room, and you will be called. Okay, so students requiring first aid, medication, scheduled treatments, or other routine care will use my office using social distancing. So it's gonna, I'm gonna learn how to get the kids in and out so that they have the least amount of contact. If I assess them to qualify as a probable case for COVID, they will remain, again, in the isolation room with supervision. No one's going to be in there by themselves, because I'll also be in my office. They will have supervision until they're dismissed to a parent or guardian. And all of this is aimed at preventing cross-contamination of my office. Okay.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Thanks.
And again, if you have any questions after this, you can email me or call me during the week or next week, and I might better be able to answer some of your questions. Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks. So we do know for transportation, you've been sent a bus survey, and we do have that information back. I know you know that busing availability is limited. At the district level, they are working on providing busing for all families who need it. We do have staggered arrival and dismissal time, so I will talk about that. And I know students have to wear a face covering at all times on the buses, no exceptions. I'm sorry, I have to. All right, there we go. And must ride on the same bus in the morning and the afternoon, and no exceptions. And those families who filled out the transportation survey will receive confirmation if a seat's available. And that most likely is going to happen next week from the school. So I know there were some questions about when will we know. So we will be reaching out to you next week and just confirming that your child is riding on a bus, and we'll tell you the bus number as well. So for us here at Hathaway School, the children arrive at school by bus and parent drop-off. So the school buses are going to do the same thing. They're going to pull into the parking lot and unload one bus at a time at the front entrance. We have designated different doors for the students go in to lessen the number of students who are grouped together, to make sure they're 6 feet apart as they come into the building. So the first and second grade will enter through door 18, which is the door they normally enter. Kindergarten will go through the front door, which is the door kindergarten has always come in. And this year we're having grades 3 and 4 enter through door 2, which is the door closest to the water and that area, outside area. And they can go right upstairs. They don't have to walk through any other part of the building. We will have staff outside to meet and greet and provide assistance. So for the parent drop-off, 8:30 to 8:55 will be grades 2, 3, and 4, and they're going to be dropped off in the circle where drop-off is. Grades 3 and 4 are going to enter through door 5, which is around the back of the building, so they can head right upstairs. And grade 2 will enter through door 9, which is the cafeteria door. And people will be there to guide them. Now, we have grade 1 and kindergarten being dropped off from 9 to 9:15. However, if you have a child in 2nd grade and 1st grade, or a child in 3rd grade and kindergarten, we are allowing you to drop them off at the same time. And we will have someone escort them to their classroom. We have no idea what these numbers will look like. This is something we're trying. Hopefully we won't have to modify these times, but if we're finding that 2, 3, and 4 with siblings is just too many at one time, we may have to alter the times and figure that out a little bit. But this is the way the building-based team opted to start the day and the year, and see how that works. So grade 1 is going to be dropped off in the circle, in the same place where drop-off has always been, and they'll come in the cafeteria. Kindergarten is going to be dropped off at the main entrance. which is different. That's a different drop off. And they're going to enter through the front doors. Okay. I don't know why it says doors, probably because I didn't look at it well enough, but it should say through front doors. So anyway, I will change that before it goes out to you. And those doors will open at 9. We just ask that you don't enter the circle until all of the buses have exited. Buses should be gone by about 8:45, 8:50. So we're asking that you wait for that. We have a cute little video on this. So I'm just going to move on and you'll see the video and you'll love it. So we're trying something different this year with dismissals. If you have a middle school child, you probably heard about it because they're doing the same thing. We wanted to be on the same page. We're using an app called iDismiss. I want to be very clear from the very start. You do not need to purchase the app. You do not need to have the app. We need to have the app. All you need to have is a placard with your student number on it, and we will be getting those to you. We're using the app to promote safety and structure during the dismissal process. So typically we would have parents come in the building, we would have students, which is really actually fun, right? We all love that. And it's such a community thing, but we can't do that anymore right now. So we have to make sure that we are not gathered like that and we are structuring how students leave the building. So what we're going to do is have grades K1 and 2 and any siblings be picked up between 2:45 and 3:05. It's really, 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 really important that you stick to those times, because at from 3:05 to 3:10 should sort of be a little clear out. And then from 3:10 to 3:30, we're going to ask that grades 3 and 4 be picked up. Basically what's going to happen is you're going to come in the circle where we drop off and you're going to have your tag up, and somebody on our staff is going to have their iPad with the iDismiss app, and they're going to punch your number in. And when they punch your number in, it goes to the child's classroom. So the classroom teacher looks at her iPad and she says, "Oh, Johnny, your mom's here. It's time for dismissal. You can head down to the cafeteria." And they head to the cafeteria for pickup. So you can only do so many cars at a time. So it's not too many, and it gives the children a chance to get down there. We will have someone walking our kindergarten students down. 1 and 2 are right near there. There will be someone on duty there, but we will make sure we walk our kindergarten students down there, okay? You also still have to show an ID, at least in the very beginning of the year. We're very, very strict. I know you know, last year, for a while, we asked for IDs until we know you. And if it's anybody different, if you haven't let us know, obviously that you know, we can't do that. So we are going to ask you to have your license ready and your placard ready, and then we will have your child ready. And if we all do that, we're going to make this dismissal process work really well. So another reason why we were a little relieved when we heard about K and 1 being the only grades coming back the first week, so that we can try this out and see if this works. It reminds me of, in case you don't know, I sometimes teach driver's ed with Mr. Amaral at the high school, right? We do it virtually. But, you know, when we talk to kids, when kids start to learn to drive and they have their permit, they will, oftentimes you will take them to a parking lot. You don't immediately bring them on the highway or the road, you know, because you want to give them a chance to practice, right? So this is what this reminds me of. We've been blessed with a chance to practice our dismissal with a smaller number of students to see if this really works and how it works. So, you know, and eventually, like driving, after you leave the parking lot and you go out on the roads and then you go out on the highway. And so that's what we're going to do as we bring back 2 and 3 and 4. We're going to try it with more kids and more kids and more kids. So we are pretty confident with it. Our librarian, Vanessa Dyer, has been awesome. She's taking control of this, and it's really going to be fantastic. We do have, and you'll have access to this, I'm not going to go through it with you, but there is a nice little slideshow that Karen Anganetti put together about drop off and pick up. So, you know, you'll get this and you'll get a chance to look through it, and you'll get a chance to figure out what's in all of that. So I don't need to go over it here, but so we do ask that you wear a mask, right? We know that that's the one thing, the first most important thing, that and air quality, that is going to help us fight this pandemic and this disease. So students are required to wear masks. Again, we've scheduled outdoor breaks for every classroom. We will have extra masks here at school, and every teacher has them in their room, but we are asking, if you can, to send in an extra just in case mask. That's a kindergarten term. One of my kindergarten teachers said, let's call it a just in case mask, right? And they're so good with that. So it is just in case something happens to it, just in case it gets really wet and you need a new one, just in case it breaks, so you never know, right? So we ask that you send in a second one. We will keep it here in a little plastic bag with your child's name on the plastic bag. But if you don't have a second one to send in, that's fine. And if you don't have a first one to send in, that's okay too. We will provide a mask for your child. We'll provide one. We've ordered the breakaway lanyards so that the masks can be around their neck all the time, and they won't lose them, and they'll stay clean that way, right? They'll be right there with them, and it breaks away in case it were ever caught on something. It just breaks away. So we do ask that you practice wearing your mask with your child. I'm going to give a shout out to Izzy and Tessa and Nurse Chris and Mrs. Anganetti. They put this the mask is your task together. We'll send this out to you, but it's really cute. I think you're going to enjoy it. So grab your popcorn. Here we go. Oh, here it is. All right, I'll have to get it from here. Here we go. So I got a couple of messages that you couldn't hear it. It was muffled. It really is just music to that. So that it was all them doing that, but it's just music. So thank you, ladies. You did a great job. And it's just a little something that you can show to your children, and you can, if you could practice wearing a face mask, that would be awesome, because it's a challenge. Although I am a firm believer that our children are going to be so much better at this than we are sometimes, as they are at so many things, because it's become part of their world, and they are adapting to it. And I think they're doing a great job. The kids who came here to do the movie that you'll see, they had their masks on the entire time. I never once saw them have to step away for a mask break. They just seem to be used to it, and they've been practicing. So I'm confident in that. So cleaning is, you probably saw this. These are the slides in every one of our presentations, but we do have custodial schedules, and we are hiring some additional custodial support, which we are super appreciative of. And we are making sure that the restrooms and the classrooms and the meal locations are all cleaned on a regular basis. We are doing indoor cleaning and disinfecting with the Virex, a spray bottle with paper towels will be available as well. We have indoor and outdoor surfaces that will be sanitized at the end of each week with Max Clean. And that product kills viruses and prevents the spread, including coronavirus, for up to 4 weeks. So we're very comfortable with where we are with our cleaning protocols and our custodial staff, and we're very grateful that we have the extra support. Ventilation, again, is another slide you probably already saw. In order of suggested steps is to increase the outdoor air ventilation. We do have 2 fans in every classroom and every area where there will be students and teachers to increase the effectiveness of open windows. We are ensuring our ventilation systems operate properly, improving air filtration, and using portable high efficiency, those air filtration systems for those higher risk areas. We also have an area in our school that we are closing off completely, because it's a room with no windows. It's a very small room, and it wouldn't be appropriate for anything to happen in there. So we've worked on that. Okay, here's a little more. All the Portsmouth School Department classrooms have working air ventilation systems. They're testing our buildings currently. We've ordered the MERV 13 filters for all of our units. I know it says supply estimations are currently 4 to 6 weeks out. That's probably a little less right now, because this was maybe about a week ago. We've scheduled additional changes for all filters, and we purchased obviously the fans for the classrooms. They're set up. The custodians set up those fans, and we told the teachers leave them where they are, and they're working nicely. And again, we have the air filtration systems. And we do, as you know, we have a ride team that will be coming to evaluate the building in there and related to air quality. So our ride team, it will be here tomorrow morning. So we'll be excited to greet them. All right. So this year, unfortunately, and we are huge on visitors because we love having everybody here at Happy Hathaway, but this year our visitors to our schools will be very limited to reduce exposure from the virus. If parents and guardians need to enter the building, it will be limited to 1 per student. The PSD volunteer program will not be operating, but Jill May is a saint, and she is still going to operate room parents and volunteers to support teachers outside of the classroom. So they will not be coming into the school, but the work will be done outside of the classroom. So we're thankful for that. Any visitor who does enter the school building will be required to wear the mask, enter and exit through the front, and provide that contact phone number for a log that we have to maintain. So here we are. These are what our classrooms are looking like. It's so exciting to see children in the building. And we put together this little video, and I'm gonna play it for you. I know it might take a couple minutes, but we want you to know that while things are going to be different, there are so many things that are going to be the same. Like I'm looking at my little kindergarten. There are 2 incoming kindergartners, and kindergarten is still going to be a kindergarten experience. It really is. We just might have to do things a little differently, but they're still going to get a kindergarten experience. And so look at these kids. They're amazing. The building-based team put this together, and I couldn't be happier. And
hello, Hathaway families. We are so excited to welcome you to a new school year here at Hathaway Elementary School. This year, there will be some changes to our school day. So we wanted to show you what to expect before the first day of school.
Let's talk about arrival in the morning. All students who take the bus will be dropped off between 8:30 and 8:45. Adults on our staff will lead students to the correct door to enter the building. New for this year, drop-offs will be staggered. Students in grades 2, 3, and 4 who are car riders or walkers will arrive between 8:30 and 8:55. Kindergartners and first grade students who are car riders or walkers will be dropped off between 9 and 9:15.
Let's begin with a peek at car line. Students in grades 1 through 4 will use our regular car line for drop-off. In the car line, you should be ready to exit the vehicle once the car is safely stopped in our drop-off circle. This means you already have your mask on, you are able to unbuckle as soon as the car is stopped, and your backpack is ready to put on as you exit the car. Students should open their own car door, and parents must stay in their vehicle. You may want to practice this a few times before school begins. Adults from the building will be nearby to monitor and help direct which door to enter by grade level.
Our kindergarten students will have their own car line at the front of the building. Please wait until the buses are gone before lining up in the car line. There will be adults nearby to help escort kindergarten students through the front entrance.
So what if you are walking your student to school? Just as with our car line drop-offs, our grades have staggered drop-off times. Students in grades 2, 3, and 4 should arrive between 8:30 and 8:55. And students in kindergarten and first grade should arrive between 9 and 9:15. We ask families who are walking their students to school to use the hill on the side of the building and to keep 6 feet apart from other families. Parents and caregivers should stop 6 feet away from the building and allow their child or children to walk to the assigned grade level door. There will be adults available to assist you to the correct door.
We know that was a lot of information, but there will always be adults nearby to help direct students. Just be ready, listen to directions, and remember to keep 6 feet between yourself and others.
Once you have arrived at school, you will walk to your classroom and your teacher will greet you at the door. Upon entering your classroom, you should use hand sanitizer or wash your hands before taking your seat. Listen to directions from your teacher and you'll be ready to learn.
You may notice you are sitting further away from your classmates, and everything you'll need will be right at your seat. This is to help keep us all safe. Be sure to give old friends air hugs from 6 feet apart and new classmates a friendly wave.
Each classroom has scheduled bathroom breaks. When it is your classroom's turn, you will line up spread apart in the hallway. Keep your mask on while in the bathroom and make sure to wash your hands before you leave the bathroom too.
When it's time for lunch, you'll want to make sure those hands are extra clean again. Washing our hands is one way we keep safe. Lunches will all happen in the classroom. You may remove your mask while eating your lunch. Just be sure to keep that mask somewhere safe and clean. This year, because lunch is in the classroom, there are no peanut or tree nut products allowed. You can look on the Hathaway website for some great ideas on peanut-free lunches.
Outdoor recess is a chance for you to take a mask break. As long as you are still 6 feet apart from your classmates, you may remove your mask during recess. Make sure to pull that mask back up if you're going to be closer. Each classroom will have a designated area of the playground for recess that will rotate each day. You will have lots of chances to have fun in our outdoor spaces.
If you have a bump or a scrape at recess or aren't feeling well, Nurse Chris will still be able to help you. She may look a little different this year. Nurse Chris will be wearing a mask like all of us, but will also be wearing a protective gown. She may even be wearing a clear plastic shield.
Social distancing is when you stay 6 feet apart and wear a mask. That's why it's important. You wear a mask so you don't spread germs to anybody else. Washing your hands is when you put soap and water on your hands, and that's so you don't spread any germs to anybody else or you.
Dismissal time will look a little different this year too. Buses will pick up students between 3:15 and 3:30 as usual. But parent pickup will be staggered, beginning earlier. Kindergarten, first grade, and second grade students who are being picked up by a parent or caregiver will be dismissed between 2:45 and 3:10. Third and fourth grade students should be picked up between 3:10 and 3:30. All parents will be given a tag for the student with a unique number on it that identifies their child. Families picking up by car will get into a car line, just as they do for arrivals. Their child's tag and number should be displayed, and they also must present their photo ID. Again, the students in the classrooms will be alerted that their adult is there to pick them up, and their teacher will dismiss them from the classroom. All students going to the car line will exit through the cafeteria.
Parents and caregivers who walk to pick up their child will line up at door 2, keeping 6 feet away from each other in line. They will show the dismissal adult their child or children's tags and a form of identification. Classrooms will be notified that it's time for the student to be dismissed, and the student will leave from door 2.
Our teachers and staff are so excited to welcome you back to Hathaway School. We know our students will be extra safe and ready to learn this year. While we may be standing 6 feet apart, we know we are always together in heart.
Okay, so I really couldn't be prouder of the team that put that together. They were amazing, amazing, amazing. And I just want to thank them. And I particular shout out to the Mays, the Barths, and the Squires for being our students who came to help us. So thank you so much. Okay, so these are some of the questions that you sent in your surveys. How will pickup be handled? Will it be the same? I think we answered that. When will we know about buses? That'll be next week. I think we talked about school hours, dismissal. AlphaBest will be running before and after care, so you will be getting something from them. We will be sending it out to you. They've already contacted people before who had AlphaBest, but we'll be sending it out to our new families. And I think we talked about the in-person, hybrid, and remote options. And there are changes to dismissal that you can take a look at. Safety protocols and mask wearing, I think we talked about, and there will be definitely time for outdoor instruction. And we are utilizing the school's land. The class sizes will be smaller because of our distance learning students, and we're spreading them over throughout the grade. Teacher assignments, we're super excited. We're going to send you an email on Wednesday from the classroom teacher, and then every teacher will be calling you on Thursday to check in. We just will want to make sure that either you're distance learning or you're in person. We just want to double check that. And then we also maybe want to say hi to our student. So if they're around, we would love to talk to them. And the teacher will introduce themselves to your students. So we are going to have take-home manipulatives going home for kindergarten and other students who are distance learning. Our teachers are working on those plans as we speak. So stay tuned for that. We do have cameras. We have our iPads, so we can live stream, yes, if a student is quarantined. And again, yes, they will be receiving materials from school. I'm sure you will have more questions, and if you do, please just reach out to me anytime. I'm here, or I will make the time. I'm here for you. So stay tuned. You're going to be getting soon the elementary school reopening plan. We have a really nice addendum to the handbook that the whole building-based team has worked on. It has lots of information, and you can click on links, and it'll really, you can go back to it, and you can, you know, if you could, I don't know, maybe some leisurely reading on the weekend, I'm not sure, but it's all there for you. And if you have questions, you can still call us. We're going to be sending a parent letter for iDismiss, and we'll be sending you the absence and dismissal form. We are going to have a beep and meet, which we're so excited about, and we will send this to you tomorrow. So the beep and meet came from one of my teachers on the building leadership team, Liz Gill. She saw this idea, brought it to the team, and we're going to do it. And so the beep and meet is on Friday, September 11th. Our teachers are going to be out front in the front of Hathaway School with a sign saying who they are. And every grade is going to have a different hour. We start at 9 o'clock with kindergarten. So at 9 o'clock, our kindergarten families will drive by, and you can beep and wave to us and have your student tell us their name out the window. And that student's teacher will come a little closer. They'll have their mask on, but they'll get a little closer to your car, and they'll say hi, and we can see your family and your dog and your cat and whatever else you want to bring with you, right? And so then you'll just drive through. So our distance learning students as well, we want to see you. We want to get a visual on everybody. So we thought that was the best way to do it. So we'll send you that flyer tomorrow. I'm going to end with this. And I've been reading this every year at kindergarten orientation. And when I was at the middle school, all my years there, a parent gave this to me. And I read it every year that we had a new student or a new orientation for 4th grade or 5th grade. So I'm going to read it to you here. And then I'll be done. It's called Unity. The author is unknown. It's beautiful. I dreamed I saw a studio and watched 2 sculptors there. The clay they used was a child's mind and fashioned it with care. One was a teacher. The tools he used were books, music, and art. One was a parent with a guiding hand and a gentle, loving heart. Day after day, the teacher toiled with a touch that was deft and sure, while the parents labored by his side and polished and smoothed it over. And when at last their task was done, they were proud of what they had wrought, for this thing that they'd molded in the child could neither be sold nor bought. And each agreed he would have failed if he had worked alone, for behind the parents stood the school, and behind the teacher, the home. And sometimes I can't get through that because it gets me right here, but please know that we mean that sincerely, 100%. This is new to all of us. It's new to you. It's new to us. But we're here for you. We're here for your children. We're super, super excited. And you can reach out to us at any time with any other questions you have. One thing you do need to know is we are absolutely ready. So thank you for being here tonight. Have a good evening, and we'll see you soon.